Hang on. The proof in the background, it's 8 o'clock, it's Wedding Cues Live. Thanks very much. If you're tuning in or if you're not tuning in, then what are you doing? I'm Gavin Jones.
I'm Andy Murphy. Hello, how are you? Good evening. The bell's ringing here in Albert Square. We're in King Street Townhouse in central Manchester, which is just behind Albert Square. So the big tower is currently bonging. You probably can't hear that. And that's probably too much information, if I'm honest.
Talk about being punctual. For those who perhaps don't know who we are, I'm, like I said, Gavin Jones. I'm a singer in a band called The Rush. We do a lot of weddings, and also I own and run an agency called BandTube that gets gigs for bands, mainly for weddings. So that's my background. I've been doing that for about 15 years.
I'm a wedding DJ. Sorry, I was just checking in to make sure we can receive the messages. We've got some people watching, which is good. So, my name's Andy Murphy, wedding DJ. Have been for the past 9 years, doing weddings up and down the UK. Be it.
Sorry, mate.
I know he's got his phone turned on, but yeah. So that's who I am. That's who he is. Gavin also does BandTube, which is it an agency? Would you call it an agency?
Yeah, I would say it was an agency, but it's just a way for me to, for bands to get gigs, I suppose. So, and a lot of them at weddings. So okay. That sorts that out.
So you had a busy weekend. Weddings this weekend, or
we did a bar gig on Friday night. It was pretty crazy. Jack Rabbits in Knutsford was brilliant. Whoever was there, thanks very much for coming. It was a belter. And then on Saturday, I can't remember where we were Saturday.
Wow, okay.
That's good, isn't it?
Saturday you were in
the Belle Epoque.
The Belle Epoque.
The Belle
How could
Epoque.
you forget? Yeah.
I know, yeah. We were in the Belle Epoque. We'll come on to the Belle Epoque later because we'll have a little chat about the wedding suppliers thing tomorrow. Hopefully a few people coming. You can't see that, it's too far away.
Yeah, it's miles away.
Hello there to Tom Baker. Just thought I'd say hello.
Good evening, Tom, and also good evening to Johnny Draper. He's watching. Always nice to have Johnny in our corner.
Hello then.
All right, then.
What's happening? So yeah.
Okay, so right.
So you're seeing how it works. You'll have to bear with us because it's the first one we've done. We're not really sure how it's going to work, so we're just going to sort of ramble, I suppose, and see.
Oh, we've got comments.
Oh, we've got comments.
We're not really sure. Man, alive.
Oh, you with your volume as well. So yeah, so Belle Epoque was good on Saturday night. Had a lovely couple.
Alright.
Yeah, you've done it already.
Yeah.
Gemma, you've just won me a £5. I bet, Andy, that you'd say all right within the first 5 minutes, and you have, so thanks for that. So yeah, Belle Epoque was good. Where were you this weekend?
I was here, actually. Very rare occasion that I actually did the same venue for 2 consecutive nights. So I was here at King Street Townhouse, which is Manchester's newest hotel.
It is.
So I think you've played here yet.
No, I've got a gig here in a couple of weeks.
We'll give you a little tour at the end, but it's a brand new hotel right in the heart of Manchester. It's part of the Eclectic Group. They brought you Great John Street, Didsbury House, and 11 Didsbury Park, which are all amazing hotels, very boutique, unique hotels, which are always a pleasure to work in. Saturday I was here, did a wedding for a same-sex couple, which was fantastic, and then last night was a Chinese...
I did a wedding for a same-sex couple on Saturday.
You said couple then, didn't you?
Couple, yeah, I got a couple, but yeah.
Yeah, and last night was a Chinese wedding.
Chinese wedding,
yeah.
They're all pretty crazy, the Chinese weddings.
Mental, yeah.
You're like the Chinese wedding DJ of the year, aren't you?
Could be, yeah.
Which is a good link for me to talk about. It's awards season, and recently we've had a few award ceremonies. Obviously, the Wedding Industry Awards was a couple of weeks ago. We also had the English Wedding Awards, which is a new one, which was at the Piccadilly Mercure Hotel. And I believe the voting's just been announced for what? You're not drinking one,
No.
Leave that alone. You said you didn't want one. The voting's been out for the Great Northern Wedding Awards, which is another big one. But you did kind of well this time, mate. Again, didn't you?
In the Wedding Awards, yeah. I won Northwest Wedding DJ of the Year for 2017, which is good. I won it last year.
5 times now, yeah.
Didn't like to say, but yeah, it's been 5 times.
This wasn't really an act in self-promotion, it wasn't supposed to be, but I just thought I'd put you on the spot and make you feel uncomfortable as I normally do.
Yeah, 5 times I won it, and it's a pleasure and a real honour to win it. I know that sounds like an acceptance speech, but yeah, it's good. The Wedding Industry Awards are fantastic.
What was the night like?
The night was amazing. Turned up, the room was full of crazy wedding industry friends, and we had a drink and we had a dance, and then the awards started, and it was just, yeah, it's a surreal experience, and something I'll never forget. It was a great night. They put on a great show, the Wedding Awards people, and it's nice to win it. It means a lot because it's voted for by brides and grooms. It's not voted for by, you know, my mates or my aunties or uncles. It's actually brides and grooms have to sit down and go through quite a rigorous voting process. Rigorous, yeah, it's a belter, and
It's a belter.
I'm so nervous. You just don't understand. I'm really nervous. I feel like Philip Schofield, that other one.
Holly Willoughby.
We've got questions, Gav.
Oh, we haven't got a question.
We
We've got
have.
people asking, can we ask questions?
Stefan wants to know, who are you? So this is Gavin, and I'm Andy.
Stefan, you know I am. I've got a beer with you, you donut. What's that all about?
Who else we got? There's somebody in Leeds has got a rash. But I don't think we'll do that tonight. Sorry.
Good evening to Roland. Bit of a belter, just back from, where did they go? Bulgaria?
Nearly. Hungary.
Hungary, same area. It's in Europe. But on all the Jeff Wood devotees, I'm sure that was a cracker. It probably won't have been quiet, that one. Ah, wait a minute, we've got our first question. Why can't I see that question?
Don't know. Hello, you two cheekies. It's Jenny Sorden. Hello. Jenny Sorden, singer, songwriter, pianist, all round good egg.
We've got a question from Lisa Jane.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. And it's not really... It's interesting because it's something we can comment on, but we're not photography specialists, obviously. But she's asked, how do you pick the best photographer? There are so many out there to choose from.
Wow.
We're very lucky. We work with, I would consider, the best quite a lot.
Yeah.
Week in, week out, we always arrive at venues when we're doing our various gigs, and there's always a top guy there, and they're all great, and we all get on with them fantastically. I would suggest that you, and this is just from my opinion, that you pick a style that you want and you look for that. I don't know what you think about that, but
there's so many different photographers, and each photographer has a different style, a different approach, a different portfolio. And as Gavin mentioned, we are going to try and do this on a regular occasion, and maybe the next one we'll bring in a few photographers and you can ask them that question. But it's a tough choice. There's that many out there, and so many different ones that have so much to offer. So it's a difficult question. Great question, by the way.
yeah.
But yeah, an impossible question.
And hopefully the next time we'll have a photographer with us, and then we can comment better.
Yeah, because some photographers, they can get you to pose for photographs, some will do it.
Well, that's the big debate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Posing against documentary,
Yes.
and some people like a mix of both. So next time we're here, we'll definitely get a photographer with us, and you can ask away, and I'm sure they'll have a great opinion on it. We've had another question. Someone who's just about to send their invites out, Nicola Baker, and they've seen on Pinterest about requesting songs on their RSVPs. What do you think? Now, I've got a pretty sort of solid opinion on this, and usually it's not really for the band when I'm in band that people don't do that, but it's more for the DJing part. I'll let Andy speak first because he is actually a DJ, but he'll have a better idea than I. But I've got an opinion on it as well.
What am I answering? Sorry.
Jesus, you're not even listening, are you?
I'm looking at some of the comments coming
Why
up.
are we getting
yeah,
someone else's comments? Let's just
not
deal
naughty, but you know.
let's deal with this this question.
So the question is, if people put a request on an RSVP, is that a good idea? It can be a good idea. Sometimes what people will do is they'll abuse that and they'll write down YMCA, the Birdie song, Agadoo, which is nothing wrong with those if you're into the Birdie song and Agadoo, but not everybody's into that.
You got asked for that the other night, didn't you?
Yeah, and you know, people think it's a joke and definitely, yeah, mate, have you got Agadoo? And you go, no. But RSVPs, yeah, can sometimes be open to abuse for that reason. Sometimes they can be an absolute godsend, and people do actually put genuine songs on there. And sometimes people will put a song on there and write down a comment saying, this reminds us of uni in 2008, or reminds us when we went to school, and that sort of thing. But other people can sometimes take to the next level.
And when you do your meeting, because you meet all your clients,
Yep.
you have a questionnaire and you ask them things that might be relevant, don't you? I remember
Yeah.
you telling me that you'd say, did you go to university? When did you go to university?
Yep.
And then immediately, around about that time, students were listening to that sort of music.
Exactly, yeah. And we can work on what music was in the charts in those years. We can work out what songs were in the charts when they left school, when they started school, when they started college. And we go through the whole kind of life of, because music's quite important, I think. It's
massive.
music can just trigger a memory,
Yeah,
or
of course
you hear a song on the radio and you know, there's loads of songs I listen to on the radio, and as soon as you hear it,
You're there, you're back where
or it reminds you of a person or a
Yeah.
time, or so. Yeah, music is quite important.
Yeah.
Lots of comments flying in. Not going to answer Johnny's questions, I don't think. We're going to completely gloss over those, Johnny.
Well, if John's listening, and I think he is, the next time we do this, we're thinking about having an acoustic act on who can promote themselves. So John, if you're listening, if you fancy coming along and playing a song for free, I'm sure you'll be up for that. Yeah, not a problem at all. We have actually had a serious question.
Lisa Jane again. Sorry.
How far in advance should we book a band? I would say personally, book them as soon as you know. Do your search, make a decision and book them, because the best band, you don't know when someone's going to take your date. The best bands will get booked up 2 years in advance. Same with photographers, they're booked up 2 years in advance. So the earlier you get on that search and make a decision, the better. I've had quite a lot of brides who've inquired with us, say for argument's sake, in August. I've not heard from them, and they've come back to me at the end of September and go, we want to book, and we've already took a booking. So it's to avoid being disappointed and listening out on the band that you actually took time and found, you should get on it as soon as possible, because you don't want to miss out. It's far too important to your day.
I think that pretty much is across the board. I mean, if you get engaged, I think once you get engaged, I think, you know, you should pretty much book everything. I know it's not easy to do sometimes because financially it can be challenging, but you can certainly put deposits down for your photographer, venue, entertainment, because a lot of the good suppliers will get booked up.
It's 2
years, yeah.
It's 2 years now.
Months, you know, it's
definitely 2 years now. It's pretty crazy. Charlie Dank, thanks for messaging, mate. We're doing your wedding next year in Askham. I look forward to that, 'cause that's a belter venue. When are we playing near York? We're not. We don't do public gigs, unfortunately, anywhere outside of sort of the Manchester, Greater Manchester region. So we have 2 gigs in Knutsford, and we have 1 in Hale at the moment. Looking to maybe get 1 in central Manchester next year. But unfortunately, mate, we just don't do public gigs outside of Manchester because it's just not really viable for us. You seen any more?
well, it's turned into the John King show on the feed here, but we'll get John involved. I know John's very eager to get involved tonight, but we're just going to zip through some more questions here. Let's have a look.
Maria Mirabella, hi Maria.
Hello, Maria.
Nice to hear from you. Do you have a limit as to where you can come and play for a wedding? To be more precise, how do you feel about attending a wedding abroad?
Ooh.
And also if you're available for any kind of such locations, such as a forest or on the beach now. Beach would be amazing. I'll have to get my factor duffel coat out though, because I burn like a lobster.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not good.
Destination weddings for wedding suppliers. I mean, who's going to say no to a wedding abroad? Or, you know, it's the dream, isn't it? I mean, I've done weddings in Ireland, done weddings in Spain, done weddings on beaches, done a wedding in a teepee, done a wedding at the Chill Factor on this float.
Everything's possible.
Yeah, of course.
The problem where it's a bit different for me to Andy, we've done weddings abroad, but it's the cost. So not only are you bringing 5 people over, you've also got to put 5 people up. You've got to pay for their flights, pay for their accommodation, pay for the transfer. So that's expensive in itself. You've also got to pay the band, so that's, you know, another expense. But then on top of that, it's the equipment. For a band, a live band like ours, you can't be bringing a drum kit and a PA system and backline amps, and you know, guitars and saxophones are fine. We can get them on a flight, but everything else needs to be there, and it's so difficult to find reliable suppliers where you are. If you're in a big city, we did a wedding in Hamburg and it was great. And because you're in a big city like that, it's not a problem to find the gear. But if you go to somewhere like I'm currently dealing with an inquiry in Paphos, and I'm just finding it a nightmare. I just can't seem to get the supply for the equipment. So it's possible, it's just difficult. It's a lot easier for Andy because he can just take a laptop, and as long as you can get like a PA out there, then that's fine.
Anyone can DJ, can't they, really?
I wasn't saying that.
No, I know what you mean, yeah. It's
very skilled.
Hiring PAs and a lot, it can be quite difficult. There's a question here from Jenny, and she's asking, are you able to amalgamate songs for a first dance?
Well, that's a question for you, that, mate, really, isn't it?
Yeah, why not? Next question. Oh, he's joking. Of course it is, Jenny, sorry. last night we did a song where the first kind of 30 seconds was a slow, kind of melodic, slow dance, and then we span it back and jumped straight into a like a fast, up-tempo Taiwanese pop song, which is fantastic, and it worked well. I could post a video of that later, but yeah, anything's possible. I mean, at the end of the day, without sounding too cliche, it's your wedding, so have it your way. Do it the way you want to do it. If you want to have a pop song as your first dance, if you don't want to have a first dance, you don't have to have one. It's not the law, is it, really?
No, I mean, that's the trend. That's been the trend for a few years. First dances. A lot of people don't want to do it. They're a bit nervous, feel obliged to do it. Don't have to do it. Really don't. You can do something totally different. I mean, for argument's sake, first song of the band, you can pick a favourite song that you like the band, a really lively one, and I will get everyone around the dance floor, and you know, and just basically have everyone on the dance floor for the first song of the night, just kick the night off. So if you don't want to do a first dance on your own, not a problem. If you don't want to do it but you think you have to, you can only do it. You can do it for a minute, and then we can get everyone else up on the dance floor. So don't worry about that. It's not a massive deal, it really isn't.
No, it isn't.
And don't forget, everyone at the wedding is there for you. You know, they're there because of you. They love you. They're not going to judge you. So it's not, you know, if you're just doing a bit of dancing, you're not natural dancers, unlike myself.
Excuse me.
You're not even listening to what I'm saying.
I am.
I'm cracking jokes and you're not laughing.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks for that. So yeah, you can do what you want, really. It's your wedding.
I was reading the questions, and sorry, mate. There's a question from Mary. It said, Andy Murphy, do you host all-day weddings? That's something you kind of do as well, isn't it? So it's quite a new thing now. I mean, you go to a wedding nowadays, and you know, see the guy in the red coat who gives it the whole ladies and gentlemen, but that's kind of changed now to maybe someone like myself who can come and set up the PA during the day, introduce all the wedding party into the room with different types of music. You can bring your bridesmaids into, here come the girls, and bring the boys into, the boys are back in town, that sort of thing. Bring all the people in. Bit of an element of fun to the wedding day where, you know, not saying anything about the red coat guys being boring, but you know, it's a different element, which is a different choice.
Howard Wing's great at that sort of stuff, isn't he?
Howard, yeah, typical example. Yeah, Howard hosts the whole day thing.
Ultimate guy for doing that sort of thing, isn't he?
And he hosts, you know, he'll look after your speeches, introduce all the speeches, the running order of the speeches, manage the whole day for you.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's what he does. And you do that as well.
I do that as well, and it's just another element to your wedding, and then that kind of gives you the opportunity to get to know all your guests as well, because I'm there all day. I'll get to know mums, dads, aunties, uncles. We'll have a bit of banter with each other. By the time it comes to the night time, it's like DJing at a family. Yeah, family friends. Yeah,
no, it's good.
Which is cool.
Johnny Draper, serious question.
No way.
Yeah, no, seriously. Thanks for that, mate. What's your advice to brides and grooms where sound limiters at venues and they're concerned? It's a big issue for both of us, really.
Yeah.
And I'm not having a go at any venues here in the slightest, because most venues have got noise limiters and it's totally out of their hands. It's some sort of a council thing where the council have basically ordered them to get the noise limiter in. It's not their fault. It's difficult for a live band to deal with. But again, some limiters are at different levels. I'll give you an example. Eves Hall is one of my favourite venues. They have 2 rooms where they have bands, or can have bands. One has got a limiter in it, which is really, really low and difficult for the bands, and any of the boys who are watching, who's in bands, will agree with me. But then they have another room where there's a limiter in it and it's set really high, and I've never set it off, even though we've been very, very loud in there. And Damo, if he's still watching, will testament to that. So limiters can be fine. It just depends on where they're set, but it's really not the venue's fault most of the time. It's the council, and they just have to do it, otherwise they lose the licence. So it's a bit of a...
What I'd add to that is I'd definitely ask your venue, when you're booking a venue, especially if you're spending quite a lot of money on your wedding. You know, nowadays the average wedding is what? I don't know. It could be for anything.
15, 20 grand.
15 up to 40, 50. I would definitely ask the venue, do you have a limiter? And if they do, ask them, what is it set at? And then when you book your entertainment, ask your entertainment, have they ever experienced this venue? Have you ever set the limiter off? Is it a problem? Because, as Gavin mentioned there, some of them, you could go you could go full pelt and nothing will happen. Whereas some venues, you come in and drop your CD player on the floor and it'll set the limiter off. They're all set differently. It depends where they are. A lot of them are generally set.
Are you still using CDs? Sorry,
forgot what I was saying. So limiters are amazing.
Sorry, I can't.
Well, yeah, just check with the venue, ask them. They're normally set up for...
Have a conversation with the venue,
with,
definitely. And, you know, if you've booked a band, have a conversation with the band, find out what they'll know. Most of the bands that I know have played at practically every in the North West. So speak to the band.
Oh, all right.
So, Maria, again, how do a DJ and the band interact on a wedding night? Do I need them both? That's the dream, if I'm honest. That's the dream. Dandy and I have done many weddings over the years together, and it works really well.
Yep.
But you know, we know each other, we're good mates, so it's.
So generally, I would kind of start the evening.
Yeah. If you would, you want to outline a bit of a plan for how it would happen?
So generally, I would arrive 7 o'clock, kind of start the music 7:15, something nice and chilled, then come 7:15, ramp it up a bit, and then have the first dance at 8 o'clock. That brings us to about 8:15. Then the Rush come on. They'll do about an hour. About an hour? Yeah. They'll do about an hour, and then I'll come in between, and there might be a little break there for food. And once the food's finished, then the band come on, and then I would finish the night. Or sometimes, on a very rare occasion, the band would finish the night. But done many, many weddings with Gavin and other bands as well, and it works fine. It's a good little mix. Some people prefer live music and dance better to live music. Some people prefer to dance to DJs. It's all down to you. You know, whatever
Nicola Baker being a bit naughty there. If budgets are tight and you had to choose between a photographer and a videographer, a DJ or a band, well, I'm not going to.
Okay, so
that.
on this one, I'm going to do that.
If budgets are tight, you probably wouldn't be able to afford a band anyway. And you know.
It's a great question.
It is, yeah, and it puts us on the spot a little bit, but I'm not going to gloss over it. I guess down to videographer and photographer, it's, you know, I'm not an expert, but it's down to what you want really, and how you value pictures over moving pictures. So, what suits you best. Most people would book a photographer, and it's easy to see one because you get a lot of value from that. But then equally, my idea. I mean, I'm getting married. Hello, love.
Love you.
Love you. Hopefully sometime in this millennium. And I'm on both. But it's down to money. So
yep.
Who was I chatting to the other day? Videographers nowadays, it's like Hollywood production. It's incredible.
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
My cousin's wedding. She had Tom Harrington from Silk and saw the preview of the video. It was incredible, wasn't it? You were on that wedding as well.
A lot of work goes into wedding videos now. It's not. I mean, in my wedding, the guy come in with a video camera which is about this big, and come in like that, and he brought a tripod and left it.
Russian army standard.
All right, lads. And he left it in the corner on a tripod for 7 hours, and you know, my missus.
Time and date in the corner.
Yeah, exactly that. My missus likes to watch that, but he sat there going, "Man alive!" But yeah, it's the videos now. Well, not videos, they're called films now. Are very similar. What's the word?
Sorry.
Look great on TV.
Damo's just put, I have a permanent noise limiter.
He has. God bless him. God bless him.
Right, nice one, Damo. Love you. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night, Chief.
Another question.
Mr. Wing.
Is he in there?
He's here.
Big man,
we were just bigging you up a minute ago, and you missed it, mate. You should have been signed in a lot earlier, son.
Well, Howard's filming this, isn't he? He's stuck behind the camera. Question here for Gavin. Will you learn a new first dance song that you wouldn't normally play?
Yeah, within reason. There's not many I turn down, but it has to be something that's possible. I'll give you an example. I actually said to a bride and groom the other week, they wanted an INXS song called Love Never Tear Us Apart.
Tune, yeah.
Really, really great tune. And I listened to it and I was a bit nervous about it because it just starts with strings and synth. There's nothing else for ages. But she was adamant with it, she wanted to do it, so we did it and it sounded great. Really, really sounded great. The boys nailed it. So what I will do is I'll have a conversation with you. 9 times out of 10 we'll do it. It's not a problem at all. But if it's something that I just can't sing, that's the limitation. Or as long as, I said to that bride, we can do a version of it. Are you happy with that? Because you might not be. And they were fine with that. So they were made up. So yeah, it was good. So yeah, good question. Thanks for that.
We're just looking through the questions. Sorry, there's quite a few coming in.
Adam Wing, I'd blow your entire budget on a video.
Yeah.
Nice one, Adam.
How far in advance of the wedding do you and the boys get together and learn that first dance song, Gavin? Weeks, months, in a studio, 4 or 5 times a week.
All you need to know is that we just get it
Yeah.
done. Completely. Johnny Draper. Thanks for that.
Naughty boy.
Yeah.
So, a few more questions are coming in. I'm trying to keep up with them. It's quite
I'm
hard.
miles behind, you know, I think.
Why?
Are you right at the end? What I was going to ask you about,
Yeah.
and something happens quite special at Christmas, doesn't it? It's engagement season, basically.
Yeah, of course.
The Christmas day, the old little box of
Yeah.
little box ring. Will you
All
marry
that,
me?
yeah.
There's a lot of engagements on Christmas Day, and the interesting thing about that is that as a supplier, and all the guys will know this who are watching, that, you know, you get a ton of inquiries in January. What I will say for anyone who is going to get married on Christmas Day is start planning your wedding in January, because believe me, in January 2018 we'll start getting booked up for the suppliers who are much in demand. So if you are planning on asking your missus to marry you on Christmas Day, get planning it in January. Don't leave it, because you don't want to, again, like I said before, you don't want to be disappointed. You want your first choices for everything, basically. Like the transfer window.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good analogy.
Transfer window.
Yeah.
Get them in early. Get them into pre-season training.
It is. If you get engaged, you know, you may as well just start planning the wedding there and then, or within a week or two get engaged, you know, and as Gavin said, get those suppliers booked in, because we're not going to be there forever. We do get booked, you know, a couple of years in advance. I've got a couple of weddings in 2019, you know, I'm not fully booked in 2019, but there's stuff coming in for 2019 and 2018 as well, so it's definitely worth booking early. Another question coming out, how far do we travel? Have we done that one yet? Any wedding don'ts? Things to avoid.
Any wedding don'ts?
Good question.
Dan Morgan. Good evening, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Wondering where you were.
Any sign, Dan?
Yeah, no sign tonight. No, we can't
No?
see him, can we?
Coming up, all right.
How far will you boys travel?
Anywhere.
We covered that before with the foreign
Yeah.
thing. Anywhere. There's a cost involved, and for other bands as well. From my point of view, there's a cost involved. They have their fee, and then say if it's in London, then it might be accommodation and what have you on top. But they'll travel anywhere as long as, you know, they get compensated for the actual effort that they go to.
Dan does have an interesting question. Do bands have riders? And I know sometimes when a band or a DJ arrive at a venue, the bride and the groom will have pre-organised, you know, yeah, make sure when you get there, Andy, you make sure you have a drink, and I've set up a tab for you behind the bar, and help yourself to food and stuff like that. But as long as that's pre-arranged,
Yeah.
with the bride and groom, you know, they've actually said to you, have a drink, have a beer, have some food, that's fine. But in terms of bands having riders, I don't think bands expect too much, or DJs
Well,
don't
to be
really
honest with
expect
you,
too much.
from my point of view, I keep it very simple. I always feel like, and I don't know whether there's any boys in the bands that I know that are watching this, and they might disagree with me, and if they do, then please feel free to comment. But I feel like the bride and groom have got enough on the plate without the band demanding 100 blue M&Ms and you know, sandwiches on arrival and a full meal or whatever. Our rider for my band is very, very simple. It's just literally include us in on the buffet. We don't ask for drinks. If you want to give us drinks,
48 cans of Guinness and get included on the buffet,
we're
and you're
more,
rocking.
we're more than grateful. I did have a band once that I booked a gig on for a corporate event, and their rider was sandwiches on arrival, a 3-course meal, an hour before that they play, and 24 cans of Stella, 2 bottles of wine, and a crate of water. And I did say to them, this is a corporate event, you know, it's just going to look like you're getting pissed. And their answer was, oh, we won't drink it at the gig, we'll drink it, we'll take it home and drink it. And I was like,
What?
Right, so that's what I mean. So I hope, and I don't have, through BandTube, the bands that I get gigs for on BandTube are not like that at all. And they keep things simple, and that's basically the advice I would give them anyway. Because, like I say, the bride have got enough on the plate. They don't need any extra hassle like that at all.
Another question here from Gemma, which is an equally good question. Well done, Gemma. Thanks for getting involved. I feel like I'm doing a proper TV show. This is great.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm loving
Yeah.
it, yeah.
I should have a break. Have a word from our sponsors. Back in a minute. Gemma asks, how reliable are bands? And I had a friend whose band didn't turn up. How are we protected? Gavin probably does it the same as me. We send contracts to the clients, and the contract is signed by myself and the client, and that's legally binding. So if anything was to go wrong, at least they're covered that way. The only way I wouldn't turn up for a wedding is if I was really sick, which
Hasn't happened yet.
has never happened. Excuse me, touch wood. Has never happened. But if it did,
You've got cover.
I'd have a suitable DJ who I would send in my place. It wouldn't just be any DJ. It'd be somebody I thought would be represent the kind of quality I give. So that's where I get.
It's exactly the same
Yeah.
with me. We have a contract signed online digitally. It's legally binding. It was drawn up by a QC. My contract. There's cancellation terms on both sides. So if we cancel, then we have an obligation, and you get a refund or we find you an option. But it's never happened because in the band that I'm in, we have depths in each position. So if someone gets ill last minute, then we can fill it. Even if I get ill, I know other singers who can come in and do a great job. So it's not a problem, but there's options. There's cancellation terms that protect the band as well, and that's only right.
Yeah.
But no, good question. Thanks for that. Really appreciate it.
Diane asks, do you recommend afternoon live music such as an acoustic set? Do you find it is well received by guests at weddings? Well, you're probably the man for that. I think you sometimes do that, don't you? You sing at weddings and...
I can only speak for myself, and obviously from my perspective of getting married one day, sweetheart, hopefully.
Some stag do that's going to be.
John King's already planning it, even though we've not announced the date.
John King with the John King Trio?
Yeah, he doesn't know he's not going yet, that's the only problem. It's
Right.
going to be a bit awkward. Anyway, from my point of view, if me and Jem are getting married, I'll have music all day. Ceremony, drinks, wedding breakfast, because I just think it adds so much. I really do. It's just about atmosphere and ambience, basically. And you don't need anything too intrusive in the day. And I think you'd agree with that, wouldn't you? You don't want anything in your face, especially at the meal.
No.
You don't want it too in your face, although I don't know whether Howard's still watching, but he does it a completely different way. He doesn't. He's not in your face while you're eating, but the gaps. He fills the gaps, doesn't he? You've got
to let people sit down and enjoy the food, enjoy the meal, enjoy catching up with people at the table who they may have not seen for years. You definitely don't want to be.
To be honest, when you've been doing this for a while, you know how to pitch it.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's down to budget again, though. If you've got budget, then do it, definitely. If you haven't, then you have to think to yourself what's important and what's not important. I would say definitely daytime entertainment all day. Like we were saying about Howard before, Howard runs your wedding for you from the start to the evening if you've got a band taking over. So there's different ways of doing it, but I would a big yes for that one, to be honest with you.
Scott's got a question there, which is interesting. Do you bring backup equipment? Sorry, I'm asking you. Yes, I do, yeah. I'm sure Gavin does too. I mean, there's only so much equipment we can bring as backup. We're not going to bring each and every item twice. But yeah, I certainly have a backup MP3 player, a backup CD player. There's various little bits and bobs that I bring with me. But these days, equipment is pretty solid, isn't it? It's well built. We look after it. We don't chuck it about.
We use the same gear, don't we? The RCF.
The same PA from
It's
RCF, which
fantastic.
are a big Italian company, and if RCF are listening and want to send us anything free for mention, they can do.
Yeah.
I also wear Vivienne Westwood suits as well to work.
You go for the old...
Yeah, and I think the wife wears Jimmy Choo's shoes when I'm at work.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, I bring a lot of equipment, a lot of spare equipment, a lot of backup
I
equipment.
shop
So,
at Primark.
right, do you?
That's all I can afford, mate.
Right, okay.
I'm not doing as well as you are.
This is better than Coronation Street.
Yeah, who said that? Hang on a minute, Lisa Jane, what about entertainment during the meal? Do you know any magicians? Of course we do. We know Magician of the Year, don't we? Hey, that looks kind of like, it's not my hand, look. Yeah, Magician of the Year, Sam Fitton.
Yes.
Hello Sam.
Hello Sam.
We probably get Sam on next time we're here. Yeah, magicians are great at weddings, and Sam. The great thing about Sam is not only is he a great magician, but he's also he's got great banter, and it's all about doing that magic thing which people find amazing, but also he's got loads of patter as well, hasn't he? And he interacts with the
Sam's,
guests really.
Sam's amazing with guests, and as Gavin said, it's not just about the trick and watching someone make something disappear. It's the lead up to it. It's
personality.
Integration with the client and the guests, and get them going, and getting them having a crack and a bit of a laugh and relaxing the people. And Sam's good for that. And hopefully we'll get Sam. We'll get Sam, and he can. He can come and do a bit for us. Sorry. I mean, I'm enjoying this.
It's a marquee wedding. Will we need your own generator? No, the marquee company do that.
Well, generally, if you have a marquee, they would probably, the marquee company maybe up to you really, but the marquee company generally would organise the catering, the floor inside, which would be carpeted, and a kitchen out the back. So the marquee company, in my experience anyway, when you turn up, everything's there. It's like a hotel.
And to be fair as well, I mean, I can only speak from my experience and from Andy's. We don't have massive power requirements anyway. Standard plugs and what have you. So I know maybe some other bands might, but we don't. Simon Whittle, thanks Simon. Thanks for tuning in. Top man, doing his wedding next year at Colshaw Hall, belter of venue, love it there. Is there a good playlist available to play during the wedding breakfast for background music? I would.
Sorry.
So you seen something else? Yeah. I would. Well, you can design your own playlist, mate. I think Colshaw will have an in-house PA system.
They've got a great PA at Colshaw. You can bring your iPod, plug that in, or they'll play something in the background.
Something like that. Build something in Spotify, or there's a cool app called DJ, isn't there? You can build a playlist and it mixes the tunes. So something like that would probably work for you, mate, definitely. But look forward to seeing you next. I love Colshaw, so.
Great venue. Who else? We're doing quite well.
How much has Howard paid for all these mentions? Thanks, Johnny. Johnny Draper, by the way, wedding photographer, all round nice bloke. Bit annoying, really, because he's that nice. So we've just given you a mention, and you can stop being jealous.
Hi, Johnny. Hi, Howard. Thanks for the money, mate. Give yourself a suit with that tomorrow.
What is your backup plan if there's an equipment malfunction? Maria, wow, you're a bang on it. It generally doesn't happen. My main worry is the desk. If the desk goes down, I'm struggling, and I've actually got 2 spare desks I carry when I go to gigs.
Same as, backup, I think we covered that before, kind of thing, but yeah.
Well, the interesting thing about my band is that Sam always turns up 5 minutes before the gig, so if I do have any problems, I can always phone him and say bring a couple of speakers.
Yeah, he just walks in with his saxophone, doesn't he?
Totally. Yeah. Josh Hindle.
Yes, Josh. Good evening, sir.
First dancing live or played, and what have you found more popular over the years? Christ, I did a...
Can I just say congratulations to Josh on his award last week at Mittenhall. Well done, fella.
I saw that, Josh. Yeah, congratulations, mate. We're not met yet, but I'd love to have a chat with you. Is he going tomorrow night?
Don't think so, no.
Anyone who's interested, tomorrow night Andy's put together the Wedding Suppliers soiree evening at the Belle Epoque. He's done...
Are you inviting everyone to come to that?
No, it's a ticket-only event. Ticket-only, let me just stress that. But yeah, it's going to be a good bash. He sold the tickets out in 4 days, ladies and gentlemen.
It was like a Take That concert.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. People queuing up. So
who's that?
I don't know. I think we've got a ghost in the room. But yeah, that's going to be tomorrow night. So looking forward to seeing all the guys there tomorrow night.
Yeah, should be. I think we've pretty much covered it. Any more coming in?
Andy, if I give you a list of songs, could you do a remix of them all?
Could I do a remix of them all? Yes. Pretty much, yeah. I'm completely open to the suggestion. As I said last night, did a Chinese wedding and we played, pretty much kind of Chinese pop music all night, which was fantastic. And it gives me an education as well. It gives me the chance to look through different sorts of music and not just play the same.
First Dance was about.
First Dance was amazing.
I was really into that.
The First Dance last night involved 8 of them.
I'll tell you what it is, but it was written in Chinese and you couldn't search for it on YouTube. But he sent me the link.
It meant the title of the song meant love, but yeah. All the bridesmaids did like a pre-dance to it first, which was great. I love doing that, by the way. And then the groom and the bride got in their own little... It was fantastic. I shouldn't have recorded it, but just the way it was laid out, I couldn't really record it. But
First dances we were talking about, live or
Yeah.
recorded. Personally, I think if you're going to choose a song, I would go recorded because that's the version you know.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why that's special to you. But I suppose if it's one the band do already, but whenever a band do it, it's always going to be their version of it. So you're just going to hear it on the night, and that's it, I suppose.
Jenny Sorlins wrote, "You keep ignoring all my comments."
Have we?
Well, we've got a look. Let's have a look.
Do you know what, Jenny? We've had over 100 comments, and we're trying to get through them as best we can.
I think Johnny and Jenny and Emma deserve a mention.
Yeah, definitely. Emma Draper, we've not done
Oh, yeah.
any of your comments. Look at Robin Kershaw's joined there.
Hello,
checking
Rob,
up us.
lads.
Rob, there. New York, or Take That's Greatest Day, which is worse? New York's a pelter of a tune.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it might be old, but it's awesome.
It's one of those songs which...
Greatest Day's a good tune as well.
Yeah, New York is one of those songs which is always kind of grouped with weddings, isn't it, as the last song? But I've not played that as a last song for, must be a week now. No, I haven't. I've not played for ages. Not played for a long time. Last night we finished with a Chinese song last night. On Saturday I finished with Tears for Fears, Everyone Wants to Rule the World. Now a lot of couples are also choosing what song to finish the night with, as well as the first dance, and that's why my last two weddings were two completely different songs. Everybody Wants to Rule the World obviously meant something to the couple.
It's a tune, actually, isn't it?
Everyone was, you know how it goes. So what comments are we ignoring about Jenny now? I don't want to leave Jenny out here. Scroll back to Emma's question. It's an actual real one.
Just want to say hello to Rob. Rob Pullan, just joined, top man. Dan, what's your highlight? What's a highlight of a wedding you have done? Got any highlights?
It's a great question. Highlights. Oh, one of the highlights for me was a couple of years ago when I met the bride and groom. I was trying to meet them beforehand. We sat down and the groom said, "Would you mind working with a band?" And I was like, "No, not working with bands." So I got to the gig, and the band was Rick Astley.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. And
Still smashing it as well, isn't he?
yeah, but the backing band was Kajagoogoo.
What?
Yeah.
Really? We talking about this.
And then Rick Astley sang with Kajagoogoo, and then Kim Wilde got on stage and did 2 or 3 songs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's at the Midland Hotel.
Did Rick Astley do his dance? Where he was like,
Rick Astley sang for an hour, a full hour, and he never sang "Never Gonna Give You Up"
Gutted.
until he walked off. And of course, one more song. He came back on and did this longest version of "Never Gonna Give You Up," but it was amazing. But that's one of the highlight careers for me. Yeah, a few little ones, but yeah, for that one, because I was always a big fan of Rick Astley as a kid, so
Yeah.
to meet him and perform with him, support him. There you go. I supported Rick Astley. When are you getting married, Lisa? They're all having a little party.
Yeah, have a little chat on your own. You chat amongst yourselves, and we'll just have a look. I'm just.
We'll have a break. We'll have a mannequin challenge.
Where's Emma's question? Have we missed Emma's question? Emma Draper. How would your perfect wedding day run from a DJ and band's point of view? I hope you're still tuned in, Emma. Stop doing that. How would your perfect wedding day run from a DJ and wedding band's point of view?
Say that again, sorry. I'm reading another question.
Absolutely killing me. I'll say it again, third and final time before I punch you. How would your perfect wedding day from a DJ and band's point of view run?
I do the last 10 minutes, and as we mentioned before, I would arrive at 7, start at 15:15, do a good hour, get the people really partying, bouncing. Then, personally, I prefer bands. You might not like this. I prefer bands just to do one set.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
I never thought about that before.
I prefer. Yeah, I feel like I could get off my shoulders now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I prefer just the one big set because I just think taking the band off in a little break sometimes it loses the party momentum, and the break you take is normally 15-20 minutes, and in that 15-20 minutes it's hard for me to get the momentum going again.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
but usually when the band plays, we break for the food, so
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
natural lull there anyway.
But the new buzz at weddings, well, it's not a new buzz, is I remember years ago when the evening food would be served, it would be a case of a long table with you know, a piece of cheese.
Lollipons,
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Pineapple and cheese, I never got that. And like an onion, remember?
Oh, sausage and
Yeah.
an onion.
And the sandwiches are
Don't
always
do
curly.
that anymore, do
Don't
they?
do that anymore.
It's very rarely a buffet nowadays.
No,
It's,
it's normally food being handed out,
yeah,
so you don't actually have to stop
go
the party. Just keep it going, you know, bacon sandwiches, sausage sandwiches, fish and chips, you know, just hand it out to people rather than that queuing up at, you know, tuna sandwiches on brown bread.
Right. I think we should get off this subject.
Sorry.
I've just seen a Helen Allen question.
I'd like to know, is there a good female vocalist you need
I don't
in
know.
front of the Rush instead of Gav?
Female vocalist with the Rush, Jen. I'd love you to gig with us all the time, but you're far too busy in the gym.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Helen, I miss a good buffet, right?
Oh, well,
Is that a question or a
well, she
comment?
just misses a good buffet. I mean, can't believe we're talking about buffets.
I knew we'd get onto buffets, we always do. Tell you something I wanted to talk about actually. and I don't
Sandwiches, what's your favourite sandwich?
know- chicken and bacon.
Right,
This is going to be, like, in the highlights package, this is a real low point in the whole
Yeah.
broadcast, yeah. I was going to mention to you, for anyone who's listening, Thursday and Sunday weddings are on the rise, aren't they?
Well, I would say as well, that it's the wedding season, and you know, there's not really a wedding season anymore. Weddings happen all year round. You know, winter weddings. Some years ago, it was kind of wasn't May, June, July, August, but now it's all year round and any day of the week. You know, Sundays and all the other days as well.
I think the thing with Thursdays and Sundays is I think a lot of venues will give you a discount for a start.
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
So then you're always in a bit of a position to negotiate. It's a good negotiating position. You might not get that in July and August, but certainly in September and May, maybe. There's a couple of bank holidays in May, so that's always something to look at. But the Thursday wedding, I always thought that, me and Jen will get married on a Thursday, and I can't wait because we can actually have a whole weekend of weddings. So you get married on Thursday, then you have like a barbecue on a Friday at Owen House Farm.
Sounds like a
and
song.
on Saturday.
Sorry.
Married on Thursday. Friday. You gotta stop.
But the one thing, because of that, I did a wedding a couple of years ago on a Thursday night, and I asked the couple why they got married on a Thursday, and they were just dead blatant with me. You know, they said, well, it was 45% cheaper to get married on a Thursday. 45%. Now that was 2-3 years ago, so that same venue might only be 25% now. Now it's turned into a business programme. Yeah.
To be perfectly honest with you, the one person I didn't expect to be trolled by was Jenny Sorden.
Yeah, I did notice that. I didn't like to say.
Getting hammered here for Jenny Sorden because I've not answered the question.
What's the question?
Jenny is available as an add-on to Up With The Rush. She's a fantastic singer. She's a lovely, lovely person.
She's gone for a wee.
She's still hammering it, like.
Right. Okay. Dan.
Could you recommend a wood-fired pizza oven built in the back of a Land Rover Defender?
Don't think there is one, is there?
That's a really good idea. We should do that.
We should do that, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it would be easy to do, wouldn't it?
I've got a Vauxhall Astra van. Would that work?
Yeah. Also, throw a bit of a pizza oven in the back. You can get them on eBay now for
About
50
£4 quid, aren't they?
Yeah, Bolter.
On that, thanks, Dan. That's a good idea.
Thanks for that, Dan. No, seriously, Dan has a business where he does pizzas and he does them for events, but he does them for weddings as well. Absolutely beautiful. Knocks pizza out in about, I'm sure it's about 30 seconds or something ridiculous.
Correct us if we're wrong there, Dan. Is it 30 seconds?
You know, Jan.
Oh, right. Wow, Sarah G. That's a great question. I'm not sure about that one. It's not. Sarah's asked the question, and the question Sarah's given is: should the bride and groom pay for supplier parking?
It's in our rider, but we don't enforce it, if I'm honest. Because it's standard MU terms, and I got our terms off the Musicians Union. It's not something I ever enforce, if I'm honest. I did the Hilton the other week in Liverpool and just said to them, is there any chance of parking? They went, no, and I just went, sound. So it just depends on your band, really, or your DJ.
It's something I've never thought about, Sarah. You know, generally you pull up at a hotel
You
like
just
tonight.
crack on, don't you?
Yeah, tonight
You do,
there's an app, pay by phone. We're outside King Street Townhouse tonight. We've pulled up, paid for parking. It's just something we take for granted. If you're going to go into town, you've got to pay for your own parking. I don't think I'd ever ask. Because by the time we get to the gig as well, for me anyway, by the time we get to the gig, you've only got to pay for an hour or so anyway. But it's a good question. Good question. Thanks, Sarah. What else? We have 90 seconds for the pizza. There we go.
Thanks for that, Dan. Cheers.
Do you know any decent bridal boutiques based on Oxford Old Altrincham that you would recommend?
No.
No.
No, basically.
Dan says...
I think we're...
Well, that's another thing we're going to try and cover, is maybe bring in people like Emma Draper from Love Bridal Boutique on Oxford Old in Altrincham, which is an amazing bridal shop. And maybe Emma would like to come and join us on the sofa. See what I did there?
Yeah, I like it.
Mannequin challenge.
I like it. We've got to do the mannequin challenge tomorrow night, by the way. You know that?
Yep, therefore, sorry. We're only meant to be doing this for 10 minutes, but it's nearly an hour.
So, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've had a laugh. And
Wasn't it?
well,
Serious broadcasting.
It kind of is. And thanks very much, and hopefully we will do it again. Leave a comment at the end if you liked it or whatever.
Yeah,
Cool.
if there's anybody out there in the wedding industry who wants to get involved with the next one, we are going to try and cover bridal wear, photography, videography, venues. We're going to try and get the people here from Eclectic Hotels to maybe come and sit with us, and you can ask them questions about setups and food and stuff like that. But if there's any wedding people who want to get involved, by all means, either drop us an email or leave us a comment, and hashtag Team Jenny. It's all about everyone else tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I like that. That's good. No, that's good. Well, listen, thank you very much. It's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.